Alright, and welcome back for some more Duelist. This time we've got a guest who's cast a lot of their games, but we'll be casting with them for a bit. It's Solafid, say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome. I'm not sure if you've cast too much on like Faraka's channel or with Jay or something.
I haven't done any casting yet.
Oh wow, so this is the first one. That's a bit of an honor, and I guess for a lot of people this will be the first time hearing your voice.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately I think we're both a bit under the weather. I've got a bit of a sore throat, and you said you had some flu come down.
Yeah, indeed.
But we'll soldier on and try try and get some casts out. And we got a good game for you today. I think it was from actually the first Flash Archon tournament. We got Jay versus Sunfucker. You excited to watch these players play? You familiar with Jay, of course.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a mag mirror, which
Yeah,
it's funny because I don't play any magma at all. But obviously I played plenty against it. But yeah, it should be a good game.
yeah. If I bring the decks up on screen, we can see. Well, we'll see they're quite different. But looking at Sunlovers first, it's and remembering this is like from the first tournament, so like players were doing sort of a lot of experimentation during this time, right, and trying to figure out what's good quite quickly. You got an interesting mech deck.
Indeed. I
Yeah, and given
guess.
that it's mechs, actually, like a lot of the deck is like already sort of put in place for you. Like you've got 15 cards that are like really easy to
Yeah.
slot in.
Yeah. I mean, like one thing you can consider doing if you're playing a mech deck is to like not play cannon. Because obviously two
Really
two.
not canon.
Yeah, I think that is a thing that you can do, especially because like this deck doesn't play Greater Fortitude. Like I think, like for instance, you can like not play Cannon, for instance, but I guess like you can, uh, yeah, I think without Greater
People
Fortitude,
often
it
cut.
does.
Go on.
Sorry, yeah, it's just like without Greater Fortitude, it's a lot weaker, I think. But because you will get to mech even without Cannon, probably. Because you still have like 12 mech pieces, even without it.
Yeah,
So and I like it always just feels really bad to play cannon. At least whenever I've played mech, because it's like 2-2 for three. It's just like not very good. But I mean, it does allow mech to come out more consistently. So I guess like from that point of view, like it can make sense to play cannon. Um, Mind Steal's kind of interesting,
I found.
because I guess it just allows you to refill your hand a bit faster. But yeah, sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Uh, I found actually that like sometimes people cut out chassis as the sort of more expensive one,
Mm,
and at least the Canon like gives you a bit of different paradigm in terms of putting like a backline threat down. But it's definitely true that without Greater Fortitude, it's a lot weaker. And also with Spirit Harvester doing 2 damage, like you kind of a bit of a non-bo there. Like you can't really play your Spirit Harvester with a cannon on board.
yeah, I mean, I think chassis is actually like, pretty decent, right? It's like 5-4. It's got shroud. Like I'd much rather play chassis than cannon. Like if I was to cut, I would definitely cut cannon before chassis. I think because like 5-4 is like pretty good
Yeah,
and
makes
like
sense.
trades into a lot of stuff quite favorably. And even if you go face with it, it's like 5 damage. Like, it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's just the most expensive one, so you can't rush out. But I don't think you need to, especially like with the change to making things Dying Wish. It's like a lot slower to get mechas already.
Yeah. I guess like one thing that's kind of interesting, I guess, is this one plasma storm, which can help you get your mech like slightly faster if you're really desperate for
You
it.
can kill your own
It's like
pieces.
one thing I've
Yeah.
I've seen is sometimes happens like is you're just like one like mech piece off, and then you have like the Vindicator in the mag version, or you have like Spirit of the Wild in the Vanilla one, but you just can't like kill off your last mech piece. And I guess Plasma Storm does kind of help a bit in that. Like Dancing Blaze can also be used to that end, or like Spirit Harvest obviously also helps to that end. So the one Plasma Storm I think is kind of doesn't make some sense from that point of view. Um,
Yeah, and you just touched on it there, but like the reason that we're probably seeing this in Magma, aside from it just having a lot of good cards, is that you can combo your Rush Frenzy with a Vindicator for a massive chunk of damage.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like the one of three factions that can really play mech because you can actually make use of your mechas all the turn that you summon it. Similarly, with Vitruvian, you can do it with Time Maelstrom. With Vano, you can do it with Spirit of the Wild. In my opinion, this is I think the second best faction to do it with. I think the Vano version is probably better overall. Although you can't use the frenzy component as consistently in the Vanna one, but even still, like Double Spirit of the Wild, I think does make that like overall, I think better. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's the one Mind Steal is kind of interesting. I guess. I mean, the problem with that is like if you're going to be filling your hand with cards that aren't mech pieces. So
Yeah, Mind Steal's a funny card, and I mean, I think just having a one of like sometimes if the game sort of goes long and you're running out of gas and you just use this to like draw a full hand.
yeah,
It definitely makes funny situations in like I was saying, it's sort of earlier on doing a sort of testing period, so maybe just throwing it in there to see like they had an idea that maybe it was good, but they weren't sure, so just throw in one and see if it does all right.
yeah.
And against them, we've got Jay, who's running an earlier iteration of their Twin Fang deck. It's not quite been perfected yet, but it's got a lot of pieces in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I played against this list a lot, and this does look like it's almost like Jay has like two versions of this list now. I think where it's like one is the one that you see him bringing that to tournaments like now, but then there was also a version that I played quite a bit against him with, which had like I think like maybe two or three Flame Bloods, um, like two or three Prophets, and like this seems to be almost like a kind of a an in between like the one he plays now and like the more kind of like tempo board like heavy version that I just described. Um, I mean, I think like the one Flame Blood can definitely make a big difference. I mean, it can help you find lethals when otherwise you wouldn't be able to. The two Lady Lock, I'm not. I feel like it's it can be good, especially with Profit, but
Yeah, I think Lady Luck's a good card.
yeah, it's overall it's obviously good, but um, I feel like the game plan of this deck is like even if you develop like a big board, um,
Hmm.
it's not like as impactful I think as for instance like having more sustain for instance or just being able to like not die. But
Yeah, it's not quite the
but
home for it, I
it's
don't
still
think.
it still can be good though. Like you know if you get like a Lady Lock Prophet into like Primus or something, or Lady Lock Prophet Blood Tier, then the turn afterwards you equip Twin Fang, and you can just kill someone like that. That is a thing that you can do. So I'm curious to see how it's gonna perform.
Yeah, you played against Jay's like Twin Fang a decent amount. Like, what do you think of the deck? Is it like one of the better ones, or is it like just his pet deck?
Yeah, I think it is very good. I mean, no one else really plays it, so it's hard for me to evaluate it like outside of playing against Jay. Um, but
Right.
it is very strong, and has some very good matchups. Also has some quite bad ones. Like I figured out that like if you play like slow liner of like Zeers, for instance, like that's like I think the hardest counter to it, and it's just like it's difficult to imagine how this deck ever wins against that. Um, but like Rust Crawler does counter it, but like one thing that I've noticed when even if you do Rust Crawler or Twin Fang, like Rust Crawler is such a good mechanical target that it's like there is that kind of like way to kind of do some like respond very strongly to a Rust Crawler play because it's a 1/4 and then mechanical like goes to 4/3 and then general hit can't clear the mechanical. So that's like a pretty like I guess like hidden way that like um, this Magma deck can actually like capitalize on a rush caller removing a Twin Fang.
Yeah, that's interesting analysis. But since it's the best of one, let's not spend too much more time talking about decks elsewhere, risking it being longer than the game itself. You ready to get into it?
Sure. Yeah.
Alright, and here the players are. We got Sunlover starting first. It looks like it's going to be a Wings Mech as well, which is a pretty nice start. Is he going to put it down there? That's a bit odd. I feel like usually you'd put it in front of the center mana tile.
Yeah. Or even like right in front of the general sometimes even.
Yeah. Even if like if you're Jay and you don't have double true drops, it's like still annoying that you like can't like start moving towards the center of the board. You're just like, oh, you're really starting off like that. It's almost a bit rude, the airdrop turn one.
Yeah, no, it is super strong to block the general movement with wings.
Yeah, and you see that because they didn't do it, Jay's going to take them out to have a strong start of their round. Double Solafid is pretty good here.
Yeah, no really good play here. I mean, you can. But these two young Solafid's are going to be really annoying.
Yeah.
But Jay doesn't really have like that much of a like play himself actually. I mean, he has like the Great Fortitude Mystic. Like, if he can find something for the flash, then that'd be nice.
Yeah, what would you replace if you were Jay?
Or flash, cause, yeah.
Yeah. Like that's always the dichotomy of having flash. Is that if you replace something that you could have flashed and you replace the flash, you feel bad. But yeah, sometimes flash doesn't do much on its own. So.
Indeed.
Tough choice. But actually, even just having a Great Fort.
He has to save the flashes for his combo as well.
I don't think the turn of Great Fortitude and Healing Mystic is really that bad, actually.
Yeah, it's okay.
4 damage
That's
on
right,
something and then heal up.
It's good enough.
You know, losing 1 mana on the efficiency anyway, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty nice. Top deck. I wonder if you go for it.
Yeah, at the moment the main problem is this 4/5 rebirth.
Yeah, I mean you can just like hit the egg with your general, then trade 5/4 into the 4/5, and then I guess develop sword and save flash for something else. Because flash harvester isn't terrible, but like it doesn't.
Yeah, you don't really need to do it here, do you?
It's not as clean as the other player, I feel like.
Yeah.
I guess the question then is where you place the sword. Okay.
Probably just like out of range of the Healing Mystic. Okay, so choosing not to kill the young Silthar, instead get a little bit defensive.
I guess this is kind of okay too, but now this 4/5 gets value, which is can be dangerous.
I mean, so what they did there was they chose to like trade the 2/3 for their 5/4 and then let Jay do the same, right? So it should work out fine, but yeah, oftentimes like if there's a nice clean trade on the board like that, I'm happy to take it.
Yeah, because it's gonna be quite difficult to deal with this 4/5 now, I think, because like Jay will probably trade it into the Mystic, I imagine, and then it becomes, or maybe not. Oh, okay, you can just do that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's not too bad. I'm playing the Primus Fist to defend themselves from having their artifact chipped off by the 1/4.
Yeah, this is a really good position now, because the turn after, if this Twin Fang doesn't get removed, your Mercantor procs Twin Fang a couple times. No, sorry, once, and then you can like go for, you'll be able to Mercantor your way into the general or something. That's the power. That's what's powerful about that next follow-up play. Because like whatever Sunlover does now, if he tries to block himself off, the Mercantor will like allow Jay to connect phase. So.
So that's, I don't think, not going to be allowed to happen if you have the Rush Main to clear up this artifact.
Yeah, no, you have to do
Yeah, letting a Twin Fang sit on the board is not good, so I'm gonna see that go away. Alright, here's a small thing. Would you have like walked down and left and been one space lower as Sunlover here? Because they just walked one space left and they're like could be pinned against the wall quite easily here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's something that it's really easy to like. I mean, it's Jay only has like 3 cards on top of that. Like, yeah, I mean, you can't be completely like blocked off, but still, it's it can be very dangerous to do that. So yeah, I definitely would have not have moved to the wall.
Yeah, I find that people like make a lot of small like mistakes that like add up a lot over the course of a game. Like your position is slightly compromised and you don't even quite know how it happened.
Like moving to the wall, yeah, like moving to the wall is something that is like if it's such a powerful like thing to force your opponent to do, especially with like War's Vanna is probably the deck that can make use of that the best, because you can just summon loads of stuff cheaply. But yeah, how many mech procs does Sunlover have at the moment?
Yeah, I was about to say it's something we definitely need to keep track of. I think these two, when they die, we'll give them the mechs. So I think they're 60%.
Okay.
They need 40 more.
Right.
Which yeah, sort of puts a timer on the game, but you don't just win when you get mechs. So it's not quite Exodia, but it is very dangerous.
Yeah. Jay has a lot of damage next turn though. He could just flash mechanical Twin Fang. And there's 4/8.
You can play the whole shebang out.
But I don't know if you can do that.
Attack with
I don't know if that's lethal.
As well.
It's 4/4. Okay, yeah, I guess you just do it.
Yeah, I think it might be a little short. Even if it's a little short, you can do it anyway. Yeah, it's one short, I think. Yeah, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, wow, that was really a big hit, and being put down to 1 HP like this, I don't think Sunlover's running any healing. Oh no, he's running some Emerald Rejuvenators, so I'll be hoping to draw those. But can he even defend himself this turn?
Yeah, you can egg morph, flash harvester.
Morph the 4/6, and egg morphing is especially nice because it lets your sword stay alive.
Yeah, and you can double block by moving your swords like diagonally northwest.
Up and left and stone 2 down. Yeah. Although, if you played the Spirit Harvester, it's going to kill your sword anyway, so...
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, so I guess you just... Yeah, I don't think you do it. Or maybe you do. Well, but you can summon Mechazor. You get Mechazor now, right? So you can block with that.
Oh, nice! Right. Yeah. Oh, this might have just been enough to pull out the bag there.
Yeah.
I don't think Jay can deal with that. I guess he can replace into a Mercantor.
He needs like Tracer or something, or some Vindicator play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not enough. Wow, that was close.
Okay. But you could have lived there for 1 turn at least.
Yeah, you'd have to run away, right?
If you ran, you won off lethal, but like that could have still ended in Jay winning if he top decked.
Blood to your Alchemist, yeah.